India, there are 80 million people living in extreme poverty. In Tamil Nadu itself, there are around 2 million people from marginalized communities such as Irulars, Nadi Korvas, and others who face severe challenges. Many families live in makeshift huts without access to clean drinking water, electricity, or proper roads. Their monthly income is often less than $70. Education is also a major barrier. Less than 20% of children make it to high school. And many girls are forced to drop out as early as 7th grade due to harassment or lack of support. Basic learning levels are also concerning, as most children struggle with reading and simple math. This is where Eureka Focus Villages initiative comes in. The goal is very simple for Eureka Villages. It is transforming lives of marginalized communities, one family at a time. We're going to look at Irambidu as an example. Back in 2021, Irular families were living in a garbage dump without access to basic necessities. The first steps were very small but very crucial. Aid India spent about 2 years trying to reach out to them to make this community trust us to even begin helping them. So this is where it all started. Initially, it wasn't a dumpster. They were living in an area which ended up becoming a dumpster due to the industrialization around which is. So the first few steps we did were providing them the land, and Ravi Uncle briefly mentioned one of the biggest struggles was giving them, having the patta or the ownership of that land. So first we started with that, providing them the land and getting them the pattas, so they are the owners of that property. And then we asked them, how can we help build their houses? And the one thing that they mentioned is just give us straw and the little things that we need to build. So this is the plot of land they got allotted, and they built those little huts by themselves. So we started from providing the land, building huts, installing solar panels, and ensuring access to water. Families were supported with food until they could save lives. By 2023, the families had begun settling into the new village. Infrastructure improved with solar streetlights, bore wells, and water tanks. Kitchen gardens were introduced to families so they could grow their own food. At the same time, education became a priority. Reading programs and LBL is one of the programs Aid Eureka does, which is how I was introduced to Aid back in 9th grade. LBL is called Learning Beyond Limits. Volunteers all across America, Naganku mentioned on this, it's teenagers, high schoolers, people in college, anyone can volunteer. Basically, every weekend you get to tutor a group of people, and it goes from grade 4 till grade 9. So that's one of the stuff we started with Eureka Focus Villages as well. Today, in 2026, Irambidu has transferred into a community with 66 concrete homes. What was once a place of extreme hardship is now a place filled with stability and hope. This model has been replicated in other villages as well. So this is how the house looks, and here's a little close-up of these houses. This is how Irambidu looks today as of March 2026. I'm going to leave that up for a second. Just as a refresher, this is where it began. And we got them the lands, and this is where this is how the community looks like right now. So this is the progress, and this isn't possible without volunteers and donors like everyone that are in this room. One of the most impactful aspects of this work is the focus on girls. Through initiatives like Naga Uncle mentioned, bicycles, and weekly sports trainings like Ravi Uncle mentioned, including volleyball, athletics, yoga, there's about 1,000 girls that are gaining confidence, strength, and independence. These girls Beyond individual villages, the broader impact is very significant. Hundreds of students receive scholarships, thousands of trees have been planted through environmental initiatives, and relief efforts have supported communities during natural disasters like cyclones and floods. I know we saw this slide a few minutes ago, but I'm going to talk about this girl. Her name is Anusha. She was one of the early groups that was part of the LBL program that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. She was the first person to pass 10th standard in her city, in her town. Then, through the Bicycles for Girls, she is the first one to pass 12th standard. Now she's attending nursing school. This is the impact Aid India was able to do in last few years. There's still a lot of work to be done, but what stands out most is the shift in mindset. These communities are no longer defined by poverty alone. They are defined by resilience, growth, and hope. And that's the core of this initiative, not just improving living conditions, but restoring dignity and creating long-term sustainable change. Thank you, and with that, I would like to hand it over to my project coordinator, Lasya. She is going to talk about what our chapter is doing with Eureka this school year and how we're continuing to build on the impact of Eureka. Thank you.